All right, so you know how we're always on the lookout for the next big thing in cancer treatment?
Always.
Well, this deep dive might just be it.
Really?
You send us this article about something called VISTA,
Okay.
and let me tell you, it's causing like a bit of a stir in the oncology world.
Yeah, it's what's really interesting here is that VISTA could be like the key to unlocking a whole new kind of immunotherapy. So
Yeah.
you know how we're always trying to move away from chemo, right?
Right.
Towards treatments that empower your body to kind of fight back on its own?
Yeah.
That's what's so exciting about VISTA. It has that potential.
Okay, so less chemo, more like unleashing the body's own army.
Exactly.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
But first, we got to back up. What exactly is VISTA?
Okay, so think of your immune system as an orchestra, right?
Okay.
You've got your T cells, all these powerful musicians ready to just strike down any cancerous notes.
All right.
VISTA is like a silencing mechanism.
Yeah.
It's almost as if cancer cells can hit a mute button on those T cells and slip right under the radar.
Sneaky. So how does that actually work? The article mentions VISTA is part of the B7 family. Does that ring a bell?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
So that means it's related to other immune checkpoints that we've talked about before, like PD-1 and CTLA-4.
All right.
And we've already seen incredible success with drugs that block those checkpoints, right?
Yeah.
Essentially turning the volume back up on those T cells.
Right.
So now researchers are looking at VISTA as the next big target.
Okay, so VISTA is bad news for our immune system's concert. But how's it pulling it off? The article says it's got a few tricks up its sleeve.
It does. It does. VISTA is a bit of a multitasker
Okay.
when it comes to immune suppression. So imagine your immune system is like a security system, right?
Yeah.
And cytokines are the alarms that go off when there's a threat.
Right.
VISTA can actually dampen those alarms.
Oh, no.
So it's like it's preventing other immune cells from even recognizing that there's danger.
It's like cutting the wires to the alarm system.
Exactly. So
Except
cancer can just waltz right in.
that it doesn't even stop there.
Oh, no. What else? VISTA can directly interact with the T cells themselves. So it's almost like putting them on lockdown.
So not only is the alarm system down, but the security guards are asleep on the job.
Exactly.
This VISTA sounds like a real criminal mastermind.
And to make matters even worse,
Oh, there's more.
it can manipulate other immune cells,
Like what?
like those myeloid cells, which are supposed to be part of the cleanup crew.
Okay.
But VISTA actually tricks them into helping the tumor grow.
Oh, wow. Talk about a hostile takeover. It's playing both sides.
It is. It is.
So with all these mechanisms at play, no wonder researchers are so interested in targeting it. But where do they even begin? This all seems so complex.
It is complex, and that's what makes this research so compelling.
Yeah.
And you're right, researchers are exploring a lot of exciting avenues right now to block VISTA and essentially unleash that full potential of the immune system.
Okay, I'm ready for some good news. Hit me with those potential therapies.
So one of the most promising approaches is using monoclonal antibodies, which are basically these tiny little assassins that are designed to seek and destroy very specific targets,
Okay,
in this case, VISTA.
got it.
So we're talking about antibodies that are engineered to recognize and latch onto VISTA
Okay.
and basically block it from interfering with the immune system.
So it's like developing a personalized weapon that
Exactly.
takes down VISTA without hurting any of the healthy cells.
Precisely.
Love it.
And the exciting thing is that these anti-VISTA antibodies are already in early clinical trials.
Wow.
It's very early days,
Right.
but the initial results seem promising,
Okay.
particularly for cancers that are known to be hard to treat,
Like what?
like melanoma,
Okay.
non-small cell lung cancer,
Right.
colorectal cancer.
Yeah, those are some big ones.
They are.
Are those the only ones being studied?
Those are some of the key ones that are mentioned in the article.
Yeah.
But research is ongoing for a whole bunch of different cancers.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting is these are all cancers where immunotherapy has already shown some promise,
Right.
which suggests that if you combine VISTA blockade with existing treatments, it could be even more effective.
Right, so it's like adding a secret weapon
Exactly.
to an already powerful arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
So there's a lot of buzz around combining VISTA blockade with those other checkpoint inhibitors we talked about,
Yeah.
anti-PD-1 and anti-CTLA-4.
Okay.
So the thinking is if you hit those multiple checkpoints at the same time,
Yeah.
you're basically creating this much stronger and more long-lasting immune response.
Right, so you're cutting off all of VISTA's escape routes.
Exactly.
I love it.
At once.
But this all sounds almost too good to be true.
Right.
Are there any challenges to targeting VISTA that researchers are trying to address?
Yeah, that's a really important point.
Yeah.
And it's true, there are some hurdles to overcome.
Okay.
One of the main ones is that VISTA isn't really a one-size-fits-all target. Well, remember how we talked about how it's such a multitasker?
Yeah.
It can actually suppress the immune system in different ways,
Oh.
depending on which cells it's interacting with.
So it's not enough to just block VISTA.
Right.
We have to be much more strategic.
Exactly. We need to be really precise about how we target it.
Right.
Researchers are working on developing therapies that can actually target those specific ways that VISTA interacts with different cells.
Wow.
So they're trying to find ways to disarm it without, messing up those other critical immune functions.
Okay, so precision targeting is key.
It is.
What other things are researchers facing when they're going after VISTA?
Another big one is that tumor microenvironment that we talked about.
Right.
So even if we block VISTA and unleash the full force of the immune system,
Yeah.
those T cells still have to get through to the tumor cells.
And that's not always easy.
It can be a really hostile environment.
Right. It's like sending troops in.
Yeah.
But they still have to get through enemy lines
Exactly.
to actually be effective.
Exactly. So to get around that, we might need to think about combining VISTA blockade with other therapies that can break down those defenses.
Okay.
So kind of softening the ground before sending in the troops.
I like it.
A two-pronged approach.
So weaken their defenses.
Yes.
And then unleash the immune system.
Exactly.
Okay.
A multifaceted attack.
Love it.
That's the idea.
So we've talked about these clinical trials. We've talked about these future therapies.
Yeah.
What kind of a timeline are we looking at here?
It's hard to say
Of course. Yeah.
with drug development.
Yeah.
But the fact that trials are already happening
Yeah.
is a really good sign.
It is.
Researchers are optimistic.
Okay.
They're working fast.
So years, potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay.
But in the meantime, research continues.
Right.
And one of the things they're really trying to understand is exactly how VISTA works
Okay.
at a molecular level.
So putting it under a microscope,
Exactly.
trying to decode how it works.
Precisely the more we understand those really complex mechanisms,
Yeah.
the better we'll be able to design these really effective and targeted therapies.
It's like we're trying to stay one step ahead. Right.
Exactly. It's like we're trying to outsmart this criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
We need to know how it thinks so we could figure out what it's going to do next.
Exactly. And the article mentions these biomarkers, which I guess are kind of like clues
They are.
to figure out who would benefit the most from these VISTA therapies.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of personalized medicine.
Right.
Getting the right treatment to the right patient at the right time.
Exactly. So this has me thinking,
Yeah.
the article focuses on cancer,
Right.
but VISTA keeps the immune system in check.
Yeah.
Could it be used for other things too?
That's such a good question.
Yeah.
And it really highlights that double-edged sword of the immune system.
What do you mean?
Well, we want to boost the immune system to fight cancer,
Right.
but then there's other conditions where you actually want to suppress it.
Right, like autoimmune diseases.
Exactly.
Whereas it's basically like an overactive alarm system.
Exactly. It's like your immune system is attacking your own body.
Yeah.
And that's where VISTA could be really interesting.
Okay.
Because if we can control that suppression,
Yeah.
it could be really valuable for things like lupus,
Oh.
rheumatoid arthritis,
Yeah.
MS.
It could go both ways.
It could.
Boost or suppress.
Yeah, it really speaks to just how complex the immune system is
Right.
and how adaptable it is.
It's amazing.
It is, and it's why this research is so important.
Yeah, this is really cutting edge stuff.
It is.
I mean, who knows what we'll discover next?
Exactly. It's a really exciting time to be following this research.
It is. And for our listeners who want to learn more, the article mentions some research papers as well.
It does if you really want to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Those papers are a great place to start.
They'll be linked in the show notes.
There you go.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into VISTA.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fascinating.
It really is incredible to think about how this could change things.
Absolutely. To all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this journey.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Stay curious, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.